Hello everyone, Cientier here, also known as Ben, and it's time for the Shadow Temple. I'm once again joined by my sister Jennifer.
Hello.
As you might expect, because we're doing our playthrough together of this game.
So many torches. I remembered one row. I remember you always do Inspired for it. I did not remember there were that many torches.
Do you remember the fire medallion icon on here?
Oh, is that how you know to use fire?
That is because originally Dinspire was cast with a fire medallion.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you mentioned. Oh,
Yeah.
How interesting. And they never changed that. It's really cool.
They did on the 3DS remake.
The Rebel Alliance is here. What is it?
Only specific torches need to be lit. So
on the 3DS remake, what do they have there instead?
I don't remember offhand.
You just remember it's not that, huh?
Yeah,
But that door's really slow.
It is. But there's apparently only a specific set of torches that need to be lit there. What am I looking for? I am looking for the Lens of Truth.
That makes sense.
So you can actually light the right torches with the fire arrow in time and get it, as I understand it, but I ain't knowledgeable enough on that.
Yeah, it's easier just to do the Inspire.
Yeah, it's cooler to do the Inspire.
Probably less magic, too.
Oh, probably. We're gonna get interrupted
The
a lot.
shadow will yield only to one with the eye of truth, handed down in Kakariko village. And you go through, because it's not a real wall.
It is indeed not. So this is going to be our last dungeon.
One who gains the eye of truth will be able to see what is hidden in the darkness. Like, are they assuming that you came in here without the Lens of Truth, that you need to be reminded? Because you would have normally literally just gotten the Lens of Truth in order to do this dungeon, and then they're reminding you to use it? It's a little weird.
Well, you could come here before you get the Lens of Truth.
Oh, and realize that, wait, I need to
and
go
be
to
like,
the well
what's
after.
going on?
I need to go to the well after all.
Yeah,
that
because
makes sense,
you don't...
then.
Like, you can figure out you need to go to the well super early. We could have done that way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think I was thinking about combining it with, like, doing some other stuff, like Ice Cavern and things, until it turned out that those episodes were...
really long?
Yeah, everything's taking a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's good to make sure then, like we talked about this before with having the tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
Finding that balance between hand-holding too much or, like, telling them too much about things where it gets bogged down versus... No, this is important to make sure they're aware of.
The game definitely handholds more than I remembered.
Uh-huh. They probably get removed a lot for your things that you've been
Well,
watching.
yeah, the randomizers remove, like, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But even from the... Like, the 3DS has a special area next to Link's house, and in the Temple of Time, I think, that you can go into that's, like, Mask of Truth shaped. That, like, gives you additional hints or something as well.
They have that in the remake from Majora's Mask as well.
Yeah, so you can opt into more clues about stuff if you need it.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like there's been a lot more, like, Navi pop-ups and stuff than I remembered.
We've been ignoring all of them.
It's possible the 3DS remake reduces the number of pop-ups and moves some of that stuff to that Mask of Truth thing.
That would make sense.
So that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
This is some lore, though.
All right. Shadow Temple. Here is gathered Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. Tell me more about...
I know, right?
Do you think Hyrule instigated this war that happened 10 years ago or whatever?
Maybe. 17
now, I guess. He's an adult. Like, what does that mean? You know? The a la Final Fantasy VII remake should explore all of these things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what would be really cool, and you suggested this earlier when we were taking a walk, to see the game that when Link goes into the temple, and we have the, like, Ganondorf, you know, taunting him about, thank you, kid. I still think it's interesting that Noboru and Ganondorf both call Link kid.
Yeah.
Like, it really shows that link there. Link. Both been Garuda. Yeah. But if, instead of that cutting to 7 years later and Link is, like, waking up, if instead it was... Zelda, and we're seeing what she does for those 7 years of learning,
this
you know,
is the same message as the other one,
of learning to be what is hidden in the darkness, tricks full of ill will, you can't see the way forward. Like, first being on the run with Impa and having to, like, get away from Ganondorf's minions and being in disguise and learning to be a Sheikah, a ninja, basically.
Yeah.
And all of that. And, like, it made me wonder, and I think I asked this earlier, like, when did some of these people find out that they were sages? And for that matter, how did Zelda find out that these people were sages? Like, she knows, that, like, Impa is the sage. She knows that Saria, whatever, is the sage. How does Zelda know? How do any of them find out that this is the case? What is that kind of process like from their end?
For sure.
And yeah,
you can see him with the lens of truth. There's apparently a dark blotch where Dead Hand is that you can see with the lens of truth.
Everything's dark and blotchy.
That is, in fact, my problem right now.
There's an extra dark blotch. Yeah. You found him. The bomb freed you, if nothing else. But it also, when we were talking about this earlier, not on video, alas, it made me wonder that I feel like the way things play out with Darunia and Ruto, it feels like they just got to the temple and then you showed up and they got there like 10 minutes earlier. They're like, oh great, we happened to run across each other before I continued on to further in the temple. So it's great timing on your part, Link, or whatever, So it's like, when did the Gorons get kidnapped? When did the Zoras get frozen? Like, when did these things happen?
I got some mysterious hover boots, by the way.
Like, did Ganondorf do that, like, immediately? Or at that very end, did he wait 7 years to do that? If he waited 7 years, what was the inciting reason for doing that if he hadn't done it in the first place?
Yeah, why, how did things end up playing out in that time between?
Yeah, like...
And like, how soon was all that, like, did it take time to round everybody up? Did they resist? What was that battle like? Yeah,
like, what I'm kind of, and like, the fact that we see, like, basically all the survivors of Hyrule Castletown living unmolested in Kakariko, like, it seems like, they were, like, what happened when he took over, when he exited from the Temple of Time? What happened? How did he take over the castle and defeat the king? Probably it's Queen Zelda at this point, frankly, but anyway, what happened to Castletown? When were the residents able to flee? And then he didn't bother pursuing them, it seems like, to Kakariko.
Kind of like how in Breath of the Wild we wake up after time gap, and part of what we have going on is filling in that time gap. And seeing the things that happen. It would be kind of cool if we could see get some way of filling in the details between Link picks up Master Sword and goes into some sort of stasis in the
Temple of Light.
Yeah, the Temple of Light inside the Sacred Realm, to emerging as the Hero of Time. There's that 7-year gap, and it would be cool to have some way of filling in that information better. Yeah,
like, it kind of feels like, if I had to guess, like, unless literally it is both the Zoras and the Gorons are, having this happen just, days before Link shows up to take care of stuff. What I would maybe guess is the Zoras were all frozen, except for the shopkeeper. One who gains the eye of truth will be able to see what is hidden in the darkness. Is that the same you said earlier?
No, that was a different one.
Okay. Like, the Zoras got frozen earlier. Shadow.
Yeah, that one.
We did read that one. Got frozen earlier, and then Zelda was able to rescue and unfreeze Ruto, but only Ruto.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, as Sheik, obviously, shortly before maybe Link showed up. And that's what's going on with that, potentially, is what that is. So that can be staged, because the Gorons, I feel like, probably make my beak face the skull of truth. The alternative is descent into the deep darkness. Because I feel like so to have those things be staged, because I feel like the Gorons probably... the Gorons probably did, like, maybe they were resisting and fighting, and like Drunia said that Ganondorf's doing this to make people an example of what happens if you're resisting or whatever. So the Gorons were resisting, and then he was able to capture them and to be fed to Volvagia that he had revived. And that probably did happen fairly, recently. And then Daruni went after them, and you found them. And so if we're then staging things, we can say, only one who has sacred feet can cross the Valley of the Dead.
Dramatic.
I know. The Valley of the Dead.
This is now full screen, by the way.
Yay! So it's interesting you don't have two different pairs of boots, one for Child Link and one for Adult Link. Or two green tunics, one for Child Link and one for Adult Link. We don't bother with that part.
Oh.
Anyway,
This is gonna be annoying too.
yeah. Maybe not as bad as the iron boots, but probably similar. But anyway, I think that makes the most sense to me, rather than having both of those things happen very recently, so that the sages will have just entered the temple, to have had one actually have happened earlier, but then Ruto being delayed getting there because she was also frozen.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess, but I would like to have some sense. Like, there's definitely, and we'll probably talk about this, I would guess, when we talk about Majora's Mask at some point in the future, but there are definitely situations where not explaining something, suggesting something, can give an illusion of more depth than you could actually create depth if you were writing it explicitly.
There was some incident of... Because, like, I'm trying to remember of something where somebody, like, wrote the backstory and everybody's kind of disappointed. Like...
I've completely had that experience. Like,
I mean, to some extent, Star Wars prequels, but...
Yeah, maybe you could say that, but I feel like that added other places to have depth. Instead, potentially. But,
yeah.
But, like, yeah, I've definitely had things where, like, there was a book where they gave the, Cliff Notes version of the backstory, and then they actually wrote the backstory as a short story or whatever, and it was maybe different seeming than it has been suggested, or different things like that. I definitely have seen that sort of thing. And so, yeah, there's this kind of situation where, like, sometimes it's good for the author not to give you what you want with some of that extra, like, mysterious past. Keeping it mysterious can be really great. And it can also mean that, like, people have multiple ideas and no one's disappointed in the truth.
Yeah. Because, like, it's one of those things of creating the space for people's headcanon allows them to engage with the media. Yeah,
and they can come up with all these elaborate theories about it. And, like, Majora's Mask is one of the... And Breath of the Wild are some of the games that I feel like have a lot of theories. If you go to YouTube or something, you have a lot of theories about different aspects of those because they do a lot of suggesting instead of explaining. You see with Breath of the Wild, they do, have the flashbacks or whatever, the memories where you see what happened 100 years ago. We don't really see what happened in those intervening years. Yeah. But you'll have ruins, and it's like, oh, this is the ruins of, Lon Lon Ranch, or this is the ruins of, some mysterious ancient temple or whatever, and people will make speculations about what happened there. And like, oh, you can tell that there was some kind of last stand people made here, and,
They do a lot of environmental storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
That leaves it open to interpretation as well.
Yeah, and some subtleties and things. So, wow, so many spiders. Got you. Holy cow! You just won't let you go.
Just smacking me across.
Yeah. So, watch for the shadows. You've told us this in like 3 different temples now, Navi. You realize?
Yeah, but on the other hand, she wants players who don't recognize the
noise.
Yeah, the other cues that it's happening.
It's good to let you know that it's something to watch out for.
Yeah.
Wow, he was annoying. Huh? So yeah, from that standpoint, it's good to let you know to worry about that. Where it could be kind of thing where if you know there are wall masters, then you'll be looking for the shadow or the noise or whatever. Where maybe you wouldn't have noticed if you weren't thinking about it as being a possibility.
I don't know what she's looking at there. There's probably a fairy you can spawn there if you play like Sunsong or something.
Song of Storms?
Sure, that too.
Anyway, but yeah, so I feel like there are definitely...
Sunsong can also sometimes spawn fairies.
Interesting. There are definitely places where it's better to suggest. And we talked about this with the iceberg theory, where what you see of the iceberg above water versus what's underneath the water is like much larger.
Yeah.
And so just explaining the part that's above water and having all this hidden iceberg underneath can be a really great storytelling technique.
Yeah, it absolutely can be.
That can be better than making everything explicit.
Mysterious nature is sometimes really, really powerful, right?
Yeah, exactly. And not explaining things. But other times, you know, I feel like it is good to expand on things more. And I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's like... Because I feel like some of the things maybe in this game where it's just like, this character isn't explored very much.
Yeah. There's a difference between like keeping something mysterious because it adds to the story and something being mysterious kind of making it feel unfleshed out.
Yeah, or superficial.
Because like this is something I've talked about with Guild Wars 1 with Ascalon. It feels like it has what I call frayed edges, where there's a lot of like implied possibility space of what this is or was or where it might go and stuff. And like that is really compelling.
Yeah. And I think it's like, if it's superficial, it feels like it's very flat and there isn't much there, and you feel like there's nothing underneath it either. Whereas the iceberg thing, the idea is that you feel like there's a lot underneath it you can't see.
Yeah.
And that's hinted at. I think it's maybe I feel like there aren't hints in this. Like even Kapora Gabora doesn't say anything mysterious to hint at who he might be. He just is there and says things and disappears, and you're like, how does he know all of this stuff? What's going on with him? But he never gives like a hint about it. Does that make sense what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like Kapora Gabora is absolutely mysterious as a character. Like, what's his backstory? We don't know. We're never really told, and there's nothing to like hint at what it might be. There's no way to build any sort of conjecture. You can't say there. It is completely like open speculation.
Yeah, like people think maybe he's Rauru. That's completely out of nowhere, right? There's nothing that I know of that would support that beyond the fact that they both know things about you, I guess. I don't
like
know
you can't
why.
disprove any theory, so it's not interesting to try to make it.
Yeah, like the theory, the thing about are the sages alive or dead? That is legitimate, like question mark ambiguity, could be multiple interpretations thing that I think works well. Of like, it's good they don't give you the answer either way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them to tell me they're alive or dead. I want that to be left open to interpretation. I think it makes it stronger and better to have that not be clear and being able to interpret it either way. I think that's a strength. So that's a place where ambiguity is good. But that's because you can make an argument for either direction, right? There's things that hint at them being dead without actually saying it that you could explain away as not being dead and all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you have it explained, or if you have absolutely nothing explained, either way, it's completely just, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing hidden underneath.
I did get them.
So both of those often are going to be less interesting.
Yeah.
Than when it's half explained.
Yeah, you need, basically, in other words, you need enough of a mystery for there to be a mystery without, like, if you give too much information...
It's not a mystery.
It's no longer a mystery, and if you don't give enough information, there's not a mystery.
Because you can't solve anything.
Yeah, because there's nothing to kind of,
mystery books... Let me read this first. Only one with the eye of truth will find the stone umbrella that protects against the rain of blades. Okay, the fact that they're doing a rain of blades makes a lot more sense why they're mentioning umbrella, because that felt really weird. But anyway, I have read mysteries where the way to solve the mystery is based on information that they do not give you.
Yeah, and that's lame.
That is not like, I would say that does not match the definitions of the mystery genre. Like, and this is getting into a complete tangent now, but Nicholas Sparks is famous for writing romances that have sad endings, where one of the characters has cancer and dies or whatever kind of thing. Never read his books, but he's infamous, like The Notebook or things like that, you know.
Sure.
He's infamous for writing them with sad stories. So a lot of people would say he does not write romances, as in like the genre of romance. Because part of the genre of romance is that there's either a happily ever after or a happily for now ending. Mm-hmm. And like one of the definitions to be like in the romance genre, they would say, is that you have one of those two endings, happily for now or happily ever after. If you don't have that, it's not like romance, as in
really like to put arrows
that genre
in chests.
And I would say if you want to be a mystery novel where it's like the genre of mystery, you need to probably play it straight, where it is possible for the reader to have the clues to be able to solve it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it might be, a book that has like a crime happen that they're solving, but it would be more like in the literature category and not in the mystery category. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're talking about this because we're talking about stories needing to have mystery, right? But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that was a complete side note, but I think that's something that this game could be better about. Like, it certainly is doing some suggesting of things like Hyrule's dark history and the civil war that apparently happened, but I feel like they don't have quite enough to really dig into. They have a little bit with the Shadow Temple and the well of, like, what on earth was going on in Hyrule, but I feel like it could be a little firmer.
Yeah, well, there's not enough information to really speculate on, right?
Like, what I was talking about in the well episode with the speculation that that was like a kind of dungeon where they tortured prisoners and stuff like that, you know, like, that's the most you can do with that, I feel like.
Yeah, because, like, what we've got between this and the well is, like, well, there is certainly a dark side to Hyrule. And that's really about the extent of, like, there's some speculation people have done about what that dark side might be. But the games are really quiet on it.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's an interesting thing about storytelling of sometimes less is more, or suggesting is better than telling. And that can be something to really have to think about when you're doing like prequels and stuff, as you're saying. With you mentioning Star Wars. I don't know if I completely put Star Wars in that category, but certainly people's headcanons of the Clone Wars,
for sure, are different.
Completely get, I think the term is jossed. If you go to TV Tropes, which is that the fans concoct theories that then get disproven, they call it jossing, after Joss Whedon, I guess. I guess he liked doing that in, like, Buffy and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't say on that front.
Yeah. I like how they do this little musical trills with these. It's fun.
Yeah, I like it too. Also, they are actual rupees.
Like you're getting money. How much money do they give you?
Like
10?
5?
5. They're not blue.
I don't have a way of checking here because I'm full now.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say we should look, but yeah.
That is precisely
Maybe
why
like
I didn't suggest
maybe
that.
They're like 2 or something. I mean, they're probably just like 5, but it would make me kind of upset if they were the same as
that.
Yeah, like I want them to be a silver rupee is worth this much. Wait, we know that silver rupee is worth 100, so they're clearly not normal rupees anyway, I guess. Oh well, it's probably 5 rupees. Now I'm thinking about the blue coins or the red coins in Mario 64. Where you have to collect the 8 red coins to get a heart, but also they're obviously coins as well themselves. Are they worth 2?
Yes.
What about the blue coins?
5. How? I don't know.
How a blue coin is worth 5 coins?
Well, because you have one singular coin. Maybe.
Well, it's like a nickel.
Yeah.
Nickels are worth 5 pennies.
That's true.
I think I have a $2 bill in my wallet.
$2 bills are really annoying because I don't want to spend them because they're so cool and stuff.
I know. I think I put one. I've got a a coin collection. I think I put. So there's one time.
You have to blow that up for a key, by the way.
That is so bizarre. It's not having that kind of unique things to bring in treasure chest.
I don't know how you're supposed to figure that one out. I need to.
So one year for Chinese New Year, my boss gave me $5, and it was two $2 bills and a $1 bill, like completely crisp, like from the bank. I'm assuming.
Interesting.
So I think I put one in my my coin collecting box.
If you don't have the long shot, you can actually do a backflip onto this chest that spawns when you kill both 3 dead, in order to get enough height with the hook shot to be able to hook up to the thing up here. I failed to do that properly.
I think your feet are too slippery, and that's why. There it is.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
What is the rate of magic use when you have the...
Pretty low.
It seemed like it. It wasn't going down very much, it seemed. Oh, okay. I was like, wow, why are you putting those on? And then I see the wind is happening. Ow.
Indeed.
Ooh, it's like a face, too. That's cool.
Yeah, it's angry
like,
mouth.
Like a goblin with the bat ears or something. Ah, the wooden beam, I see.
Yeah, I saw it after I started aiming the wrong way. Like, I know there's something here that you're supposed to look into.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely dark.
Link, stop climbing back
Make up your mind. Up or down. It's like a cat, which is always on the wrong side of the door. I've heard that description of cats before. This cat is always on the wrong side of the door.
Yep.
You don't need to open that ice switch, huh?
That ice switch it attacks you.
Oh, okay. That's why it was. When it opens up, it shoots fire. Okay. It must be because it's silver instead of gold. The gold ones you have to close by shooting them.
Yep.
So do you think these drums are bongo bongo?
How does this work, Navi?
Here. Oh, it's Navi. Here, I can hear the spirits whispering in this room. Those who have sacred feet should let the wind guide them. Then they will be led to
the hidden path.
Hidden path. That's what they're saying. Do you think that the
Is an invisible chest in here?
Do you think the drums in the soundtrack are bongo bongo?
That's kind of my headcanon.
It makes sense.
There it is.
I think the concept of the bad guy playing that instrument that you can hear all the way throughout is kind of a fun one. Like how you can hear Saria to help guide you the first time you're going through the Lost Woods. You can hear Saria.
I think it's over here.
Playing to help you lead you the right way. Kind of a fun idea. So, Gibdos versus Redeads.
This spot, I need some explosives. Gibdos are really weak to fire, but otherwise they're very similar.
Do you think they're both dead Hylians?
Probably.
Then why are they different? Why is one mummy and
I don't know why one was mummified. They
both crawl on you and do
Gibdos
that.
are a more traditional Zelda enemy than Redead, I feel.
Are they, like, trying to suck your blood when they... Like, it looked like it was gnawing on your shoulder, didn't it?
I don't
They, like,
entirely
hugged
sure.
you from behind. Big bear hug.
I think the idea is they're consuming your life force
And
somehow.
then gnawed on you. Probably your life force, not literal blood. You get so many rupees.
I know.
So many useful rupees. Even if you had a Tycoon's wallet, it would be all filled up at this point.
Yeah.
999 rupees.
Tycoon's Wallet, for those who aren't familiar, is a hidden, or like an unused thing.
Something they planned and then actually didn't implement.
Yeah. In the game
What
that...
was that big yellow bulb?
The bell, probably?
There's a bell, huh?
But it holds 999 rupees, and people working on the randomizer found it, and so they often add it to the randomizer.
That's cool. Do they change the color of the rupee next to the...
I don't think any of the wallets changed the color of the rupee next to the rupees.
I could have sworn that they did in one of the games.
Oh, probably in other games, but I don't think in this one.
Oh, okay, it's just always green. I mean, it makes sense. You'd think the first one would be green, and this is the third one, so if it's still green, it probably
Right,
is.
you'd expect this one to be like red.
That is a bell. Is this like the ship?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
is
ship that you-
this Karen's ship, as it were?
It's certainly themed that way.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions about
you can
the
actually
Sheikah.
hookshot onto that, but that opens up a shortcut.
I have a lot of questions about the Sheikah, that they have the well and this. Would you like to live in Kakariko knowing that all of this is there?
I don't think most people in Kakariko
Like, just
know
think
all
of
this is here.
think of that nice, cheerful town that we were in, and then this is underneath it.
There's a scarecrow over there that you can use,
Ah.
but we just want this.
You know, it's a long shot. You can reach all the way over there.
Yeah, hitting that was definitely a long shot.
The river Styx, right?
Mm-hmm.
Funny that Karen and Styx both sound like, I'm not saying the Greek word.
Yeah.
Ooh, is that a beak, a bird?
They've changed the graphic on the 3DS version of this to be like a reaper.
Instead of a bird?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like a shrouded hooded guy.
That sounds more like what we're used to. I almost feel like it must be a stork, which would be like the opposite, like birth, instead of death. part of the symbol of the Hyrule royal family is a bird, like looking up, kind of upside down heart as the head looking up, and then like kind of the wings coming out on the sides.
Yeah.
In red. It's on the shield.
I
doubt it's supposed to be that the bird's supposed to be related to that, but it may be. I mean, if this is the Sheikah doing something of like creepy things for the, evil kings of Hyrule's history or something, maybe this was, it's got Zelda's lullaby, right? To make the creepy ship go, you play Zelda's lullaby. Like, this is royal family sanctioned, it seems like. Link, the ship is sinking! Abandoned ship, get to a safe platform! Wow, you're really not paying attention, are you? So I don't know if that's supposed to be like I always imagine it's an eagle for some reason.
I saw
the
once
bird.
where somebody shot those and was standing in the wrong spot, and this fell down and voided them out.
Oh no, that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if that bird is supposed to be the bird of the Hyrule royal family, or if it's supposed to be, like I said, it reminded me a little bit of a stork.
This gives you a clue that you can do that, by the way.
Oh, because you see that someone else did that.
This is broken off.
Yeah. Was that not a bridge to go across it though? I thought it was, but I guess it doesn't. You know where you're going more than I do.
I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah. There's a pillar that was invisible, huh?
There's walls here that don't exist and do exist, but you can't see and stuff. It's a very convoluted space.
So walls you can see that aren't there and walls you can't see that are there, huh?
I think that's the case.
Interesting. Maybe it's so the prisoners couldn't easily escape.
This requires you to use Din's fire, by the way. Fire arrows don't work.
Ah, so you do need Din's fire.
Yep.
Did it be melted at the same time or something?
They're just coded to not care about other sources of fire.
Interesting. Also, you burned every dead zone. But you said it was Gibdos that don't like fire.
I don't think either like fire, but I think of Gibdos as traditionally being very weak to
Well,
it.
I mean, they're covered in like tissue paper,
I
right?
figured out why there's so many. Yeah, I figured out why there's so many blue rupees in the randomizer pool.
Yeah, holy cow, we've been finding so many.
I don't know if it's because it's like, oh, this is bombs and it's replacing it with a blue rupee or something, but I've been getting a bajillion blue rupees in here. Oh, and there's magic in a jar, so you can have magic for Din's fire.
That makes sense. Good call.
Yes.
It's good to make, like, that's the important thing with game design, is to make sure
It
that
is.
if, like, you are required to have this consumable resource, make sure they definitely are going to be able to have it and not be out when they're needing to use it.
Yeah.
Or even if it's a non-consumable, like they need to have Din's fire, make sure that they would have gotten Din's fire in order to get here or something, so they are able to do it. That is, I mean, you think this is the first weird room? They've all been weird rooms, but this is an especially strange one, yes. I don't disagree with that. Oh, and see here, in case you don't have bombs, they've got bomb flowers or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Skulltula, I can't tell. They look like they were bomb flowers.
These are bomb flowers.
Yes, there they are.
I don't think there's anything that you get from blowing these up. I think I can just leave.
You never know, maybe there's a, oops.
Well, my accuracy is trash, but...
For all you know, there is a, another small key hidden in one of those. Like, you need a small key now, or you've got the boss key. Right?
I don't think I need to open those.
I could look at my guide to see what's in there.
I think it might just be money.
Oh, well then you definitely don't need that. I'm gonna look at my guide out of curiosity.
Okay.
But it makes sense actually to have bomb flowers because we're pretty close to Death Mountain.
Yeah.
So like there would naturally be bomb flowers.
What's in this chest?
Blue rupee.
This might be a key. I don't remember. Also, this room is awful. It is a key.
It is a key. Woohoo. Well,
Look at how terrifying this is.
blood. And is that like a
Blood.
St. Andrew's cross or whatever?
It's at least some wooden cross beams with some chains.
Charming.
Yeah.
All the blood stains.
They did say this dungeon contained the bloody history of Hyrule.
Yeah, literally bloody. Well, all I can tell you, Ben, is that they don't have a number in that basement for that room. In that room, they don't have a number of like one of the things that one of the steps is in there. They do show there's a Skulltula. So I'm gonna see if it says anything. They mentioned the Din's fire thing.
Yep.
And then there's have like number 14, which is crossing. This is what I said. Yeah, crossing it.
Yep.
So I was right. It was a bridge.
Yeah.
But you had to do other things first. Yeah, and this is the last thing they mentioned is this. So they show that there is a Skulltula in that room, but they have completely silent about it otherwise. So it's there for Skulltula.
Oh, that's probably Song of Time, so I could get up to get those hearts. I don't care that much.
I think your hearts are doing fine, right?
My hearts are doing all right.
Yeah, you could be better, but you're not terrible.
I have 2 fairies and a potion.
Exactly, you're not doing terrible. All right. And there's the final boss.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's the boss key. Or the room.
I mean, that works.
Bongo bongo. Fun name for a drummer, huh? Aren't there bongo drums, I think?
Yeah.
Is this a bongo drum?
I usually think of his bongos as being 2 pair of drums.
He's got 2 hands, I guess. Is he based on, what's his name, Andros?
It's a very common motif.
Isn't there, remember when we were looking at that old issue of Nintendo Power that I have, and they had that advertisement for the guy that was in the bathroom with, who is that character? With an R on the front, I feel like. He was at a urinal, remember? In the advertisement, Nintendo Power.
Yeah, I don't remember which character.
We should look it up again. I'm making it up because he has.
See, and then he starts banging his hand
self?
to open it up.
Oh, that's so cute. In whoever this character is in the Nintendo Power advertisement, he has a torso and like head and stuff, and he has arms.
Oh, Raymond.
Raymond, I knew it was an R. And he has hands and feet, but no arms and legs. And so the ad was him in a urinal.
I don't think this is actually being
It was
useful.
a really weird ad. And like all the other men, it's like we're seeing their backs. And all the other men are like craning their necks to look at him because they're weirded out by the fact that he doesn't have any arms or legs. It's a very weird ad. But that's what you make me think of. It's a common motif to have, hands that aren't attached by arms. And so I thought of that guy. Raymond, apparently. I don't know anything about his game, but,
He's usually a platformer.
Okay. Is there any game, play, I can't think of the word for it, any relevance to the fact that he has no arms and legs in the gameplay? Gameplay is what I was looking for.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's just an appearance, huh?
It's easier to animate. I don't know. Anyway, you got to see him trying to bust open his own frozen hand with his other fist.
Maybe you need to scan the image from Nintendo Power and include that for people too. But yeah, that was cool seeing him like trying to bang his hand to unfreeze it. That was interesting. You beat him really fast.
He's not a hard boss.
That's nice. And he was what was hiding inside the well, is that correct?
I believe so. That's my understanding anyway.
And what was he going to do? He didn't seem to have been doing much, just hanging out in the bottom of this temple.
I don't know.
They act like he's going to go out and destroy the world.
They act like he's some big threat. They don't really demonstrate how.
He hangs out down here and plays the drum. Like, what's wrong with that? Just let him play the drum. I mean, I know it's annoying when your neighbor plays the drum because it's really loud and you can hear it. But, like, why not let him? That's my cue. I should also drink water because you're better at hydration than me. So if you're drinking, I should drink. All right, drinking break. We must be fortified before we see Impa again.
Wet your whistle.
Yes.
So that way you can read all of this dialogue.
I had a cup of white hot chocolate before we started this video.
That's true.
Now, I think I did a deep voice for her like I did from the Boru, didn't I?
I don't remember.
I don't either. It's been so long since we've seen Impa.
That's true.
I mean, technically we saw her before becoming an adult because she was riding the horse, but she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
The boy with the noble Zelda's ocarina. As I expected, you have come. I am Impa, one of the Sheikah. Wouldn't it be funny if you got here and the sage was someone you had never seen before in your life?
That would be amazing.
She's acting like it right now.
That's
She's
true.
introduced, like, I've already met you. I know exactly who you are. But, like, it would be so funny if it was like, here's a character you've never seen before who was the Raru, I guess.
Maybe it's been so long since we've seen her, she thought maybe an introduction was in order.
I mean, it's been 7 years for her, right? But I suppose Raru is that, but not really.
That's
in
true.
the same way.
Raru is, but...
But it'd be funny if it was like one of these things. Anyway,
Yeah.
I am Impa, one of the Sheikah. I am Princess Zelda's caretaker, and I am also the sage who guards the Shadow Temple. We Sheikah have served the royalty of Hyrule from generation to generation as attendants. However, on that day 7 years ago, Ganondorf suddenly attacked, and Hyrule Castle surrendered after a short time. Ganondorf's target was one of the keys to the sacred realm, the hidden treasure of the royal family, the Ocarina of Time. My duty bound me to take Zelda out of Ganondorf's reach. When last I saw you... Why is she telling us this? We saw her. Anyway, when last I saw you, as we made our escape from the castle, you were just a lad. Now I see that you have become a fine hero. There's nothing to worry about. The princess is safe now. I suppose theoretically we would be wondering about Princess Zelda's whereabouts.
This is way more accurate of a dialogue right here than if you do Spirit Temple last.
I mean...
Read the line.
Yeah, her explaining everything. Soon, you'll meet Princess Zelda face to face, and she will explain everything. That is. But it's a good point that, like, we're playing this knowing where Zelda's been this whole time.
Yeah,
And when you're playing it the first time, you have no idea.
it's true.
So you're probably wondering, like, where is Zelda in all of this? Like, why have we not been seeing any hint of her anywhere? I really like the Zelda is Sheik plot
Yeah.
of this game. I think that's one of the strong things of this game. And it gives explanation for what she has been doing these 7 years. And that she is involved. She's not just hanging out and waiting for Link to do everything. I mean, yeah, Link's the one who's doing the temples. I mean, why isn't she doing the temples,
Zelda's
you could ask.
often been active and involved in some way.
Yeah, I think it's really great. So I really like that she is very much involved and is helping, even though she's a bit of a damsel in distress at the end, you could say, and that she gets captured as soon as she puts back on her pink dress. I think that having her be, helping you the entire time, and kind of taking, she saved Ruto and different things like that, and involved. I really like that. She isn't just kind of somewhere in the sidelines hiding the whole time, but is doing things.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. And it'd be part of why it'd be really cool to see the game where we're watching Zelda, become a Sheikah.
Yeah.
And all of that in those 7 years of what happened to Hyrule during those 7 years where Ganondorf was taking over and everything.
For sure.
So that would be cool. All right, I should probably finish Impa's dialogue here.
Probably.
That is when we, the 6 wise ones... This really does feel like this should be the last temple, with all this dialogue she's having here. That is when we, the 6 wise ones, will seal up the evil king. Are we sure this isn't supposed to be the last temple? And return peace to Hyrule.
There's a lot of things that kind of make you want to have the hover boots leading up to Spirit. But
Yeah, there is.
as you saw, it's very not necessary.
I have to stay here. You go to Princess Zelda's side. I don't know who she is yet. And protect her on my behalf. Now I put my power, which should be helpful to you, into this medallion. Yay, purple. Go purple.
Yeah.
As a kid, at one point, I was mixed up between, I think, the shadow medallion and the light medallion in terms of the design on them. Because the other one is 3 circles and 3 triangles arranged in a circle, like alternating. And this one's one big triangle with a circle on each face.
Yeah.
And I think I got them mixed up at one point and had to, like when I wrote them down in the book, I had to cross them off and replace them correctly.
I could see that happening.
Yes. Anyway, Impa's wakened to the stage and adds her power to yours, says the narrator. I have actually read a book with a second-person narrator. Please look out for the princess. It was very interesting. It was like the narrator was a character in the book, but was telling the story to the actual main character. It was kind of... It was very unusual. Anyway, Link. Wait, old man voice. Link, the hero. Finally, all of us, the 6 sages, have been awakened. The time for the final showdown with the King of Evil has come.
But not this episode.
No. Before that, though, you should meet the one who is waiting for you. The one who is waiting for you at the Temple of Time. I like to have his tear ducts. He had like the red in his eye. Alright, back in the graveyard. Anything we want to do before going to Temple of Time and Ganon's castle to finish up this episode, or are we feeling pretty set?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to finish the episode kind of
Skulltulas,
at the entrance to his temple. Yeah, I want to do Skulltulas. Oh, by the way.
Oh, do you want to try reading Dampe's diary or something? He does have a diary in this game. The Gravekeeper's diary is here. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
Whoever reads this, please enter my grave. I will let you have my shrinking keepsake. That's a way to phrase that. It's not how I would have chosen to phrase it.
Hard same.
I'm waiting for you, Dampe.
I did not mean to...
So he knew he was going to become a ghost before he died.
I mean, he is the Gravekeeper.
And that he was going to haunt his grave.
Has some insight into this
and
sort of thing.
Give someone his stretching
treasure.
Keepsake.
Keepsake, yes.
That sure was a thing he wrote.
Yep, it certainly is.
Huh. Alright, House of Skulltula. Did they ever pick up this place if you rescue all of them?
No.
The curse has been broken! Thank you! Here's a reward for you! Banju. How do you know which ones you've already talked to and which ones you haven't?
Memory?
The curse has been broken! Thank you! Here's a reward for you. Yay! How many more do you need? 2?
Yeah.
Should you just grab those 2 really fast? Or not bother about
I kind of want to try.
That might be a fun
Got
one.
to 51 golden Skulltulas,
Nice.
which seems fine to me.
That seems fine. Are there any
That's over half.
Any easy pieces of heart to go and grab 2 of?
I want to go back to Gerudo Valley. I think there should be one in that area. In the waterfall there. That should be pretty easy to get. I also might be able to get the one on Zora's River with hover boots. There's more that I could get.
You could do the
too.
frog thing, or is that the really hard one?
I have to go to a kid.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
I kind of want to end the episode on getting light arrows.
Okay. Yeah, there's one on the waterfall in Gerudo Valley, I see. I'm looking at the guide, and it shows where they all are.
Mm-hmm.
More Epona.
Yeah.
I do feel like they have...
Why that side?
Where was she coming from?
Oh, I should also be able to get the... where's the grotto one?
Be more specific?
The one with the Tektite grotto. That you have to, like, go to the bottom of the thing.
Tektite grotto.
Okay, you can use hover boots for that.
Okay. I'm glad you saw it, because I didn't see it.
I might just use Zora River. So there's a grotto with a Tektite. I think it's... I don't know. Sorry, I'm looking at the user guide, or the strategy guide, and not at where I'm going.
But I was going to say, I do feel like there's more gatekeeping, I guess is the best word for it, in Majora's Mask, of like, you cannot get to this location until you have gotten this thing that you would have gotten in the temple or whatever. And,
They certainly try.
and there's, and I feel like there's also more things of like where you, like things like the horse is required and stuff like that to get to these places. Where I feel like you've had more things here you've said, oh, technically this is optional. Where I feel like there's been more of like, no, you actually kind of need to have that. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I don't actually play the game, I just watch it, but...
I think you're right. There's a lot more stuff in this game where, like, you can kind of do stuff in different orders, or, like, Majora's Mask is kind of designed with locking mechanisms.
Yeah, and, like, certainly you I mean, you have to do the dungeons in order, but all the special side quests.
Yeah,
are much
like
more
there's
open
stuff
then.
like if you have bombs, you can, and the Goron mask, you can place a bomb and then do a Goron bounce, the ground pound thing,
to jump
at
and
the
get
right
places.
timing, and then get exploded and knocked off over like opponent fences and stuff.
I could see that. Oh, it was Ganondorf, the evil king who is behind the gang of thieves. He is the king of the thieves, after all, the Gruta. Like I suspected, Naboro was... How does he know who Naboro is?
I don't know.
Like I suspected, Naboro was brainwashed by Ganondorf's followers. How did he... Was that the same guy?
Yeah, I was trying to speak to this guy, but
You did so great, young man. Without the old witches, the gang of thieves isn't all that scary. Really? Have they changed then? Also, they said they were going to help you. I guess they created the bridge, and never mind. Hey, I heard you saved my men. When they returned, we built this bridge. Look at this. Isn't it a fine bridge? They may be wimpy carpenters, but once they all got together, they got the job done. It's an analogy. All of the sages come together and get the job done.
yep,
No? Yes?
it's an analogy.
What happened?
I broke Link's shins.
Ow. Let me see what time it is.
Boing,
Boing, boing. I love saying the word boing. It's so fun. Boing, boing,
Boing, boing, boing.
boing, 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 boing.
Join with
boing,
us.
boing,
Join
boing,
with us,
boing,
comments.
boing,
Boing.
boing, 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 boing. I probably should stop saying it before I annoy someone. Alright, this is a very long ladder.
It is very
I would not want to climb that ladder. And imagine in real life it would be covered in water.
I love that they did this right.
Because, like, the
Oh, it would be
the
so
spray.
slippery. Yeah.
What did they do that you love?
You can go down this and end up in Lake Hylia.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I think that's so much fun. I love that little tidbit of realistic connections, as it were.
Yeah,
Lose your horse, but you just call her again. It's fine.
that's true. She's a very
And they get the nice music.
attentive
For
horse.
2 seconds, we get nice music. And we get normal music, which is fine, too.
Also nice music.
Yes.
Differently.
Differently nice. Nicely different?
Strong current there. Pushing me over
Yeah.
this way.
I mean, it was a river.
It's true. I want to go see what's in this grotto over here. I don't remember.
So this is the one reference to the goddess Hylia in this game.
I don't know, like, when did they first introduce Hylia?
Well, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was like, we call them Hylians for unknown reasons, because they're in Hyrule, so we'll call them Hylians anyway, though, for unknown reasons. And we'll just go backwards to make it like Hylia. Yeah, I honestly do not know when they... I feel like Hylia is first mentioned in, like, Skyward Sword or something.
What the heck do these guys
I mean,
sell?
I'm sure it might have been earlier, but I don't know. Do you have any sense? You do that from really far away, can't you?
Oh yeah, this thing wrecks them.
I surrender!
Heck yeah. I was getting low on those.
Nice. Knock it off!
I don't need arrows.
Yikes! I quit!
I'm good on bombs as well.
Yikes! You scared 2 of them, Ben.
Yes, I did. But I bought stuff from the third one.
Yay. Actually, the first one.
That's a useful place to know about, by the way, if you're doing a randomizer with Scrub Sanity on, where each deck of Scrub has random things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about the randomizer a lot because I like to watch it. I like to play at some point in time, but it requires things that I do not have, so I haven't looked into changing that.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so one more piece of heart, is that right? What we're looking for?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to go to Zora's River. But I kind of want to find the Tektite Grotto in Hyrule Field.
Well, I can try to look at if they mention anything about Hyrule Field a little bit more. I didn't really read these. I just kind of skimmed at them. Let's see. This one is fenced in. I think you did that one, didn't you?
Yes, I did that one.
This is in the mountain. This one is next to Lon Lon Ranch.
Okay, that's what I want.
Okay. They show water in the picture. They don't show a Tektite. So there's a tree near Lon Lon Ranch.
Cool.
I was gonna say, call the horse. You're in Lon Lon Ranch. Call the horse.
think I missed a note on my first attempt.
Oh.
I'm having a hard time being precise with this stick when trying to play notes.
Should I get out my keyboard over there so I can play?
That will not help me play notes on this.
No, I meant for the edification of the audience.
I mean, it's not necessary. And you have to stick down the microphone anyway.
Aww. It'd be fun.
I guess.
When it's nighttime and there's no music, I can do it, right? Let me grab my keyboard. Is the length of this rope long enough? By rope, I mean the cord on the microphone. So I can.
It's a very long cord.
It's a very long cord, he said. Yeah, it made some weird noises. Not that anyone heard that, except for you and me. Oops, my water bottle fell over. Now it's making noises because I'm dropping it. Okay, there it is. Let me see if I can do this while he is finding a piece of heart.
Walk because
You're gonna walk?
I want the adult to work.
Okay. Let me see how this goes.
Boy, that's makes no sense out of context.
Don't know if anyone can hear you. Let's see. Is that a good sound? Let me do this one. There we go. Should I start over? Since I messed up.
Clearly.
Okay, I'll start over again.
Wait, is it that one?
And then it would just start over again. So there you go. There I am playing. So if you guys wanted to play along, let me see. It's D B A D B A D B A B A G F sharp G A B. No, I'm doing it wrong now. I can't do it when I'm talking. F sharp G A B C C D C.
That crowd did not pay for the bomb required to open it.
Oh no, G G G.
Oh, I used the Mechaton hammer, so it's free.
G A. Ah, okay. G G F sharp E D. No E. I can't do what I'm saying it, I guess. Anyway, you get the picture. So I think it's cool that we were able to figure out, like, or maybe find, I guess more accurately, I don't remember which, how to play that song. So, yay.
This is a cool little corner.
Yeah. I don't remember what the high note is. Yeah, what's in the corner? I like the trees. It's always fun when they put like trees in the meadow.
Yeah, okay. This is a
Well, we
fairy
found a
fountain.
fairy fountain.
I don't need any fairies, though, I don't believe. No, I do not.
Nope, not unless you want to get in their bottle. So, should we... Did you find where
No.
the... Do you see the picture?
I do see the picture. It didn't clarify things a lot for me.
Oh, you didn't find the tree? I see the tree, though.
I see very many trees. That was not...
They said... My impression is that it is on the north side of the ranch.
This area is on the north side of the ranch.
Well, I think it's... Okay, that might be it.
I think this is it.
We will see if this is it.
Yes, this is it.
Yay, this is it. Okay, we found the Tektite. The Tektite has been found. You forgot to change your tunic, I see.
I did not.
Didn't bother to change your tunic, has that?
That is more accurate.
I thought it might be. It doesn't give you a... My water bottle just fell
You
down.
either need the gold scale or iron boots for that.
My I noticed the timer didn't. Like, it gave you the sign saying you're going to start drowning, but it didn't actually bother to show you the...
Oh, it popped up a timer. It had like 2 minutes on it.
Oh, yes, you're right, it did. But when you took off the boots is when it stopped, it seemed like. Not when you got to the surface of the water.
It's weird.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. All right, anyway, we've got plot relevant time. So you got more and more hearts. So you've got how many hearts now?
17?
17? Oh, that was different. You came in through the front door. I've been waiting for you, Link. Link, the hero of time. You have overcome many hardships and awakened 6 sages. And now, you have a final challenge, a showdown with Ganondorf, the king of evil. Like, Sheik is this mysterious person who helps you, but they explain it.
Yeah.
Gabor is the mysterious person who helps you, and they don't explain it.
They explain nothing.
I just want to know more about Gabor. All right. Before that, I have things I want to tell only to you. Please listen. Another unknown legend of the Triforce passed down by the shadow folk, the Shekas. Ooh, cutscene, special. If you would seek the sacred triangle... Oh, no, not that word again. Listen well. The resting place of the sacred triangle, the sacred realm, is a mirror that reflects what is in the heart. The heart of one who enters it. If an evil heart, the realm will become full of evil. If pure, the realm will become a paradise. The Triforce, the sacred triangle, it is a balance that weighs the 3 forces: power, wisdom, and courage. If the heart of the one who holds the sacred triangle has all 3 forces in balance, that one will gain the true force to govern all. But if that one's heart is not in balance, the Triforce will separate into 3 parts: power, wisdom, and courage. Only one part will remain for the one who touched the Triforce, the part representing the force that one most believes in.
It'd be interesting to have one of these where somebody had, like, touched it and got courage, or touched it and got wisdom.
If that one seeks the true force, then that one must acquire the 2 lost parts. Those 2 parts will be held within others chosen by destiny, that word again, who will bear the Triforce mark on the backs of their hands, but they won't notice it until someone points it out to them, apparently. Also, I just want to say, it's not just the mention of mirror, but that also kind of triggered it a little bit. But this is really reminding me of in the first Harry Potter book, where, spoilers, at the end of it, we find out that the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, whichever translation you're doing, is hidden inside the Mirror of Erised, and the only way you can access it is if you don't want the stone. So if Harry hadn't gone there to, confront Voldemort, then Voldemort could not have gotten the stone because he wanted to use it, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to, access it and get it out of the mirror, because he would have got the wrong thing mirror back at him, reflect back at him. Whereas Harry, being pure of heart child, didn't actually want to use the stone. So he was able to get it, and then Voldemort was able to try to take it from him.
Yeah.
Where if he had never... It feels very similar to this, where it's like, if Link hadn't opened the door for him, he wouldn't have gotten it. Or,
right.
It's reflecting back at him, and so he's not able to... He wants to get it, but he can't because it's reflecting back his desire to have the power instead of... it feels like a little bit of a similar... They linked in my mind, anyway.
For sure. But it's interesting to me, we experience, of course, the... repeatedly, Zelda gets the Triforce of Wisdom, Ganondorf gets the Triforce of Power, and Link gets the Triforce of Courage. Link represents courage. Yeah. Right? And it would be really interesting to me if they rotated who you played as and who got what part. So, what if somebody goes for it and they have wisdom, but they're unbalanced, and that makes things turn out wrong. Like an evil inventor or something. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's more intelligence than wisdom, but, it's where you have, you're playing the wisdom character because the villain has, courageous. They most believe in courage. I thought you said the villain has wisdom. Okay. Or what if the villain has wisdom and you play, a power character? Yeah. It'd just be interesting to have... Yeah, it would be interesting to see a different dynamic. Yeah.
I do think, while we're on the topic of this, that a little bit the idea of linking all of these games together in a chronology has its interesting points, and certainly there are some that are supposed to, like, this is a prequel to
A Link to the Past.
and this is, you know, also the one that comes before. It has a sequel, Majora's Mask, and so
Yeah.
there are things like that tie together. But I do think, in general, it's like James Bond, where it's like they just have, like, it's a myth, like they're just different versions of the story, and, you know, or it's like with James Bond, like,
Or the Greek myths.
well, that's why I was saying myth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, where there are just, like, different versions that have, like, the same tropes.
Yeah.
You know, we always have Link and Zelda and, you know, the princess and the hero who's brave, and we often will have, not always, but often will have Ganondorf, you know, all the stuff, like, you know, like, it's got some of these common tropes, you know, the green clothes, the sword, you know, what are all these different things, but they don't necessarily link together. Just like with trying to have some kind of chronology for James Bond does not work.
Yeah.
But, like, they're all James Bond movies, and it's all the same. I feel like it's kind of more in that line rather than literally there is a chronology.
I agree. I understand, like, why people want a chronology, and the Hyrule Historia gives one and things like that. But, like, to me, these are myths, and it's kind of like you're just telling the same story in a different way.
Yeah. And they don't have to be the same. I mean, it's good to have ones that have variations.
But I mean, like, you have the same sort of elements that are kind of doing the same setup, right? Where you have the princess, you have the evil.
If you're looking at, like, fairy tales of, like, I don't know, Coyote. Like, is this the same Coyote in all of these fairy tales, or is it different Coyotes?
Right.
Or something. You know, like, it's just the archetype Coyote. Right? This is the archetype Link. Link is the archetype.
And it has a very strong mythic quality.
And these are, like, all the fairy tales, you know, that they're telling of the things that Link did. And whether it's the same Link or different Links is, like,
immaterial.
You know, yeah. So that's kind of how I think about it.
It very much so feels mythic to me.
I definitely get the impulse to figure out a chronology. But I don't think you can fit all of them in the chronology. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to Sheik. 7 years ago, Ganondorf, the king of thieves, used the door you opened in the Temple of Time and entered the sacred realm. But when he laid his hands on the Triforce, the legend came true. I was there. I saw it happen. The Triforce separated into 3... This is another thing. Like, when did she realize she had the Triforce of Wisdom?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that would be part of... I want to see the 7 years. Like, was it immediately that she knew she had it? Or did it, like, take 5 years before she found out? Did Impa tell her? Did she already, like, know? Like, what was that whole... Like, Link's had it and doesn't have any clue, you know? What was that? I want to know. I want to see Zelda's side of this. The Triforce separated... When did she realize Link had the Triforce of Courage?
Yeah.
That's another one, too. Is that... When she realized that, was that why she decided that she shouldn't go and do the temples? Like, is there some kind of purpose in having it be Link doing it? In order to, like, fully awaken the Triforce and...
I mean, maybe she lacks courage.
That too, I guess. She doesn't quite seem like it, but maybe. She runs away a lot. Anyway. The Triforce separated into 3 parts. Only the Triforce of Power remained in Ganondorf's hand. The strength of the Triforce of Power enabled him to become a mighty, evil king, but his dark ambitions were not satisfied. To gain complete mastery of the world, Ganondorf started looking for those chosen by destiny to hold the 2 other Triforce parts. The only one who holds the Triforce of... The only one? Where did I get the word only from?
I don't know. Where did you get it from, Jennifer?
I saw the word one, and I thought it said only. But then I said one anyway. The only one is what I said. I'll start over. The one who holds the Triforce of Courage is you, Link. Should have been Navi. No, sorry. And the other who holds the Triforce of Wisdom is the 7th sage, who is destined to be the leader of them all. This is the reference, again, to Link to the Past. There it is. Music change. The music cues you who she is before you even see her, right?
Yep.
It is I, the Princess of Hyrule, Zelda.
Such a cool reveal moment.
I apologize for meeting you in disguise, But it was necessary to hide from the king of evil. Please forgive me.
She's also like 17 here.
Mm-hmm. I want those earrings. On that day, 7 years ago, Ganondorf attacked Hyrule Castle. I'm sure someone makes those earrings.
Oh, I'm sure.
I saw you as I was escaping from the castle with my attendant, Impa.
Maybe on Etsy.
Oh, I'm sure it's somewhere. Ooh, we're getting another first-person point of view shot. They really like first-person, don't they? I thought I should entrust the ocarina to you. I thought that would be our best chance.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the Triforce of Wisdom yet.
Yeah. As long as you had the ocarina in your possession, I thought Ganondorf could never enter the sacred realm, but something I could never expect happened. After you opened the door of time, the Master Sword sealed you away in the sacred realm. I definitely get the impression from my recollection. Yeah, it's all her fault, right? I definitely get the impression from what I remember of the ending of this game that she blames herself a lot for, like we talked about earlier, or even just literally a few minutes ago with Sorcerer's Stone stuff with Harry Potter, that there's a bit of a like, if she had not tried to stop Ganondorf, she would not have made it possible for Ganondorf to succeed.
Yeah.
Like, you collected all three. The spiritual stones were in 3 different locations. You collected them all in one place. He couldn't open the door. Like, you opened the door for him. You know, well, there's a degree of, like, if they hadn't been trying...
He couldn't have drawn the Master Sword.
Yeah, if you hadn't been doing all of this stuff to, like, get there before him, like, again, Harry Potter, right? In that first one, he's like, we need to go get the Sorcerer's Stone ourselves then, or whatever. Or maybe he's like, well, we should stop him. I don't remember. But, you know, if you hadn't gone to do that, if Zelda, you know, the child, the little 10-year-old, hadn't, you know, decided, well, let's go and do all of this stuff to get there before him,
well,
he couldn't have gotten there.
Well, we can talk about it on the next one, but that's kind of what's happening at the ending is Link's telling her we're not going to. And that spins a different timeline off.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I get the impression from that ending bit is that she feels like it's her fault and guilty.
Well, we'll talk about the ending more.
Okay, yeah. We'll talk about that because I'm not quite sure.
In the next episode.
I'm not sure.
We should wrap this one up.
Yes. I wasn't sure what you were referencing with that, so we'll have to see that scene. Because Link doesn't talk, so that's why I wasn't sure. But I know in Hyrule Historia, there are multiple things that could happen at that end.
They have 3 timelines coming off of it.
Exactly. So maybe that's what you're referencing. Anyway, your spirit remained in the sacred realm, and then the Triforce fell into Ganondorf's hands. He went on to invade the sacred realm. Ganondorf had become the evil king, and the sacred realm became a world of evil. All of this is an unfortunate coincidence. I passed myself off as a Sheikah and hoped that you would return. I waited for 7 years. And she showed up right when you did come back, so I don't know how that timing worked out. Maybe someone warned her. And now you are back. The Dark Age ruled by Ganondorf, the evil king, will end. The 6 sages will open the sealed door and lure Ganondorf back into the sacred realm. I will then seal the door to the sacred realm from this world. Thus, Ganondorf, the evil king, will vanish from Hyrule. Link, in order to do this, I need your courage again. Please protect me while I do my part. And here is a weapon that can penetrate the evil king's defenses, the power given to the chosen ones. The sacred arrow of light.
This is so much better in future games.
You mean graphically or?
Effectiveness.
Effectiveness. Okay, the arrow is better. Gotcha.
Yeah. In this game, it does not one-shot enemies.
I wasn't sure which part you were
Majora's Mask, it does.
Yeah.
And especially Wind Waker, it is amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You got the light arrow.
The light of justice will smite evil. Uh-oh, rumble, rumble. Oh, yes, your rumble pack is rumbling a lot. Rumble,
it's very rumble.
Rumble, rumble. That rumbling! Rumble. That rumbling! It can't be! Why doesn't he capture Link at the same time?
He doesn't think she's anything. Or he doesn't think Link is anything.
He doesn't know. So he knows that Zelda has the Triforce, but not that Link has the Triforce?
I believe that's the case.
Oh, he missed that part, I guess. He just came at the very tail end where she announced who she was and missed that part.
He probably is like, what am I... Like, the process of making the light arrow probably... Like,
is what got his attention.
That's my guess.
And that's what made him realize that she was there and that she had the Triforce power.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Okay, that explains it. I like having an explanation. Princess Zelda, you foolish traitor. How is she a traitor? You're a usurper.
I don't know.
I commend you for avoiding my pursuit for 7 long years. But you let your guard down. I knew you would appear if I let this kid, because I'm a kid, wander around. And that also explains kind of why he wasn't like actively going after Link. Like Link was going after his stuff, but he wasn't going after Link. So that's nice to explain that. My only mistake was to slightly underestimate the power of this kid. That Link was more successful than he expected.
Yeah.
No, it was not the kid's power I misjudged. It was the power of the...
he does know.
Okay. It was the power of the Triforce of Courage. I guess he just knows Link was come to him.
I don't remember what these cutscenes were.
I guess he... Well, I think I know. Yeah, I guess he knows that Link's going to come to him, so he doesn't have to capture him. Maybe he only has power to do one person.
How high-pitched does this sound get?
He maybe only can capture one person. So he captures Zelda and knows Link will come chasing after her. Is it getting higher
Zelda
stuff?
doesn't have a history of running.
Yeah. But with the Triforce of Wisdom that Zelda has, when I obtain these 2 Triforces, then I will become the true ruler of the world. If you want to rescue Zelda, come to my castle. See, he knows Link's gonna go there. So I guess that's the explanation.
Yeah.
Though, why he waited until after Zelda gave him the arrows instead of just grabbing her immediately, I do not know.
I don't know what his timing with that is.
Maybe he had to prepare a magic spell to do that and could only get one
Saving
person.
the memory card.
To make the capturing her thing, maybe he had to take a while to prepare that, and then also he could only capture one person.
That could be. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here because it was plenty long. Thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, everyone. Take care and goodbye.
Bye-bye.